Well, hello again, folks, and here we are with the, that House Smart coffee break. And I have a guest today that is, not only is he a professional at what he does, he's creative. He's almost an artist when it comes to concrete. Now, concrete is a liquid product. A lot of people call it cement. Cement is in concrete. But concrete is something that you have to really know what you're doing with it to do it right. His name is David Jorge, and David Jorge from Avante Concrete. How are you doing, Dave?
Good, Shell. Thank you.
Long time. Love your beard.
Yeah,
I really do. That's a new character.
Yeah.
But you know, Dave, when it comes to concrete, I've known your family for many, many years now. In fact, I can recall you when you were a little tyke, along with Dad, and your dad has been part of the whole concrete business with me for many, many years. But tell me, what really is the trend today? What are the trends?
That's a good question, Shell. The biggest trend is actually going back to a simpler finish, smooth finishes, broom finishes, but typically a smooth finish. And sometimes we'll swirl it, but on most cases, a lot of folks and a lot of designers are going with simpler finishes these days.
What about exposed aggregate? Used to be very, very popular. You still see it out there.
Still in demand.
Environment has come into it now as far as collecting residual.
Yeah, still on demand. Probably our biggest seller still. It is a little bit tougher to do. We contain it at Avante. We actually have a bin program, so that we actually contain the slurry as we pump it into a bin and then dump it at an offsite. We let the water settle and the slurry settle, and then pump the water out, and then contain and dump the slurry somewhere else.
Right.
Same place we would dump the concrete when we remove the concrete.
Right.
And again, it is still one of the most popular finishes. Yeah.
Now, stamped concrete. You don't see as much of it as you used to.
That's correct. Lost popularity because of its cost. It is higher in cost. And again, perhaps why the smooth is becoming more popular, because it's the least of the cost. It can be beautiful. But stamped, in some places, still popular, but the cost has gotten so high, or has maintained its height in value, that folks are going other directions, because dollars are not that easy to come by. So
that's right.
We used to do a lot more of it, but economy and things have changed folks' minds. So we still do it, and we still enjoy doing it, but we don't do as much as we used to. Yeah.
Well, when it comes right down to concrete, though, there's so many people, as I mentioned earlier, that they'll phone up and say, I need a new cement driveway, or I need a new cement sidewalk. And I'll say, well, one moment, I'm just going to correct you one thing. It's concrete. I used to have a lot of fun saying that on the radio, especially when your dad was a guest with me, that concrete is... But yet you still hear the professional talk about cement, but on the other hand, they're doing it because of that's what the...
Yeah, cement's a funny one.
Speech.
Yeah, cement's a funny one, because I was having this conversation with my sister-in-law just the other day. And I said it's like calling bread flour.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you please pass me that flour, because flour is only part ingredient of what makes bread, much like cement is only part ingredient of what makes concrete.
Yeah.
It is a third of the ingredients that actually makes concrete. You have aggregates, water, sands. Yeah.
Now, there's another very important concern here, that we receive a lot of calls, and people have exposed aggregate. Very popular, and two things. One, it's cracked, and they would like it repaired. Not so much repairing the crack, but it's settled and cracked, and it's not big enough to slab jack, but yet you're very creative as to what you do by taking pieces out. Explain that one.
Yeah, so what we've done, in the past, and what we'd like to maintain, is the fact that matching doesn't work. Okay, even trying to match concrete that's been paved in the last few weeks doesn't work. So what we try to do is create a decorative border, or use an alternative finish altogether, use a stamped border, or use a different colored exposed, so that it actually looks like a purposeful
So you'll cut
design.
Some of the concrete away that's there
Exactly.
currently.
All the bad stuff gets cut out, and then we'll add to it, making it look like a decorative design, and it's worked well in the past.
And one of the things about Avante Concrete has always been unique, that you have your own mix. That is exclusive to Avante.
That's right. When it comes to exposed, we work together with the supplier, And granted, it was by demand. We felt that the mix design should have been nice, could be nicer. So I worked hand in hand with the supplier. So when you get an Avante and exposed driveway, it is the only exposed that's being poured of that sort in the province.
That color, so you can drive by and
the
say,
rock style,
"That's an Avante."
Yeah, it's for me. I'm very proud of it because I worked with the supplier to do it. Perhaps not everybody would notice it because basically the rock content is almost doubled, so there's a lot more rock. Of course, once you've mentioned it, most people see it. It's quite evident, especially side by side.
Okay, what about sealing now?
Sealing's important. Yeah.
Sealing is so important, but you actually make that available as a service, not something you do the project and then you walk away and
that's correct.
And 2 or 3 years down the road I'll get a phone call saying, I had concrete placed by a company. I said, not by Avante, because I know they actually give you the service of cost to come back and seal that for you.
That's correct. Yeah, it's important to maintain your concrete regardless if it's exposed or stamped. Now, I only recommend sealing exposed and stamped. I don't recommend sealing smooth or broom finished concrete. It's unnecessary. But both your stamped and your exposed should be sealed at least every 2 to 3 years. I personally do mine every year. But the maintenance is important. It's crucial to your concrete. So yeah, we provide a service. We come out, clean it all up again, and then seal it. Another valuable thing that we do is we actually maintain it in the sense that we dilute the sealer if you've already got too much. Sometimes folks just add sealer upon sealer, and you'll see it. Every once in a while you'll see it looks like it's inches thick.
Exactly.
Or
so
peeling. So you actually have to strip some of that stuff off.
Yeah.
Because just adding piles of it doesn't make it any better. So hiring a reputable contractor to do that type of stuff is important.
Well, that's why Avante's always been the reputable company.
Yes.
Tell us some of the other options that you make available out there, because you're not only into placing concrete. I know you're one of the largest placers of concrete in the greater Vancouver area. In fact, recently you did an apron out at YVR that was over 200,000 square feet.
That's correct.
That's an incredible pour.
That is, yeah.
And when you get that, and to get that all knitted together, but some of the other things that you do.
We do a lot of repair of concrete, foundation repairs, settlement of concrete slabs and slab jacking. It's something that we branched off doing a few years ago. It's almost 20 years ago. But it's been an important part of our business. Of course, concrete is so diverse, and granted, there's a lot of times because we were ripping out a lot of concrete that didn't need to be done. So we found options. Now sometimes we're repairing stuff that shouldn't be repaired,
right?
Because folks, it's all about economics. If it's cheaper and it's still going to give them another 4 or 5 years, then yeah, let's slab jack it. And we try to be as upfront and as authentic when we do our quotes. If it doesn't look like it's repairable, we're going to give you a price.
And you're going to say so.
Yeah, we're going to say so.
Yeah.
We're not going to try to sell you. That's the beauty of us. We have everything's in-house, everything we provide. We have all the equipment, so we can give you an honest.
That is something I would like to make reference to and just confirm that you have all the equipment.
That's correct.
You have the tear-out equipment, the haul-away equipment, all the concrete. In fact, you have a truck that actually mixes concrete right on the project.
That's right.
And all of that is so important. Now, one of the other items that is becoming quite popular, actually, especially in elevated areas like West Van, North Vancouver, Burnaby, Mountain area, Coquitlam, heated driveways.
Yeah, absolutely. We do 2 or 3 a year. Typically, they're used with hot water systems, so you're working hand in hand with a plumber. And yeah, we're taking out the old ones, and folks are just spending a few more bucks, of course, putting in the heating system.
You get older, you
That's
don't
right.
shovel the snow anymore.
Yeah, you
like
don't need to
used
shovel the snow, and they work great, absolutely great. They're automated in the sense that there's a thermostat in the concrete, so when the concrete gets to a certain temperature, it doesn't even have to snow. But once the concrete becomes to a certain temperature, the heating system turns on.
Kicks in.
Yeah, so there's no frost issues, and it's typically on the slopes.
Yeah.
Exactly. West Van, North Van, a little bit in Coquitlam, but the most is in West Van, North Van, where the slope driveways are extreme. Yeah.
Not so much out in the prairies where it's all
Definitely
flat.
not. Yeah.
But also another very important thing is the strip drain
Sure.
that you put in with a sump that.
That's a
gets
good
all
point.
over the-
That's a great point, Shell. For us, it's almost exclusive. If the driveway slopes towards the garage, to a point that I'll refuse doing the jobs at times, because if the driveway of the garage is too big, and then there's only a central sump, because typically when the home is built they only put a central sump in the center. It's just too far for the water to slope, and then you have this weird channel in front of you.
Right.
In front of your garage, so we
always slippery too.
Yeah, so we will almost refuse the work if we can't put a trench drain in. Of course, now you're going to increase the value of the job, but the end result is so much greater.
100% better.
So much
100% better. Now, also pools.
Yeah, pool decks are popular. A lot of pool decks that are becoming 10, 15, 20 years old. This year actually was a big year for us doing pool decks. It's a little bit more work because you got to get the pool guy involved, and sometimes you got to redo the liner, but it's all part and parcel to the owning of a pool. But pool decks.
But you have all the referral.
Absolutely, yeah. We work hand in hand with all those folks there.
How about steps and retaining walls?
Retaining walls and steps, of course, everything, all that type of stuff. And again, having our own equipment, we can do the excavation, and a lot of times earth's got to be removed, so we have our own trucking, bobcats, excavators.
And you also get into engineered breakwaters.
That's right.
Yeah.
When shore homes have a little bit elevated or a little bit too close to Mother Nature, we add breakwaters for them. And
well, a lot of people lose frontage.
That's right.
With you get the wrong
That's
winter
right.
tides and that sort of thing.
Yeah, there are parts of Tawasin that we have done literally miles of breakwaters. You get.
And you take a lot of businesses today that require machine mounts, for example, if you're going to be mounting a machine in a slab of concrete.
That's correct, yeah. If you own a shop that produces a widget of some sort, be it paper or machinery, lathes of some sort, we regularly remove, because the 6-inch slab that exists on your shop floor isn't strong enough to bear.
Right.
So depending on the weight of the existing equipment or the equipment that you're going to buy, we'll dig down. We've done excavations as deep as 8 feet thick.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's some big stock.
That's a big piece of machinery, that's correct.
Wow. Well, Dave, I want to say how much I appreciate you coming in and giving us the story on Avante Concrete, and knowing you for so many years, and knowing your dad for so many years. I have to say, though, a phenomenal Portuguese family,
Yeah.
and hey, your dad's a phenomenal fisherman
That's
as well.
right.
Boy, I'll tell you, he taught me about chuck fishing.
Yeah.
But in any event, I want to say thanks for coming out
Thank you.
and having the time to spend with me to present the story of concrete, because with the pictures that we've had, that we've inserted as we've been talking here, and no commercials, people love these coffee breaks because they can have a coffee and watch it and learn from it.
Perfect.
So thank you very, very much.
Very
And
good, thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Very good.
We
Thank
just
you.
love it.
Awesome.
Thank you. Well, there you have it, folks. Another Shell Busey House Smart coffee break. More to come, as you know. Every week we try to put one in there for you and bring you up to date on what's going on in the industry of home improvement. Until next time, bye-bye for now.